Pleased to welcome Alex Daugherty, who covers the Nashville Predators for the Tennessean. Alex does a fantastic job. He's all over things with the Preds. Alex, look, a lot of build up to this game tonight. Nashville visiting Tampa. How do you think Steven Stamkos will handle it? What do you think it's been like for him the last 24 to 48 hours?
Yeah, thanks for having me. I think Stamkos has been probably wanting to get this out of the way since he moved to Nashville. I don't think he wants to talk about it anymore. I think he wants to move on. I think Coach Andrew Brunette actually said the same thing after the Columbus win on Saturday. He said, like, look, it's going to be an emotional game. We're also ready to get it out of the way because it felt like this kind of looming thing over everybody. That being said, I mean, it's going to be a cool moment, right? I mean, it's going to be a big moment for a guy that has had the impact that Steven Stamkos has had in Tampa to go out on that ice, to get some sort of, I'm sure there's going to be some sort of presentation or something by Tampa, maybe not a lot, but I don't know what that's going to look like. But and then there's the fact that he has 1 goal in 8 games. He has 1 point in 8 games for Nashville. Has been a big part of why they've had they've struggled at the start. It's actually I was looking at this before it came on. Like it's the 7th time in his career that he's had 1 point in an 8-game stretch, and most of that is from his rookie year. So it's like arguably his worst stretch in I don't know 6, 7, 8 years. I mean it's kind of remarkable, and it's not for lack of trying. I mean he has got some looks. He's had time on the power play. He's hit the post a few times. I think it was Alex Lyon that had that crazy paddle save against Detroit. He's had so many chances. It's just, for whatever reason, things are not falling. The timing is just off. I do think that tonight's going to be a big moment for him. And I'm not alone in thinking this, but you gotta think that he's going to make an impact somehow tonight. He's going to score a goal. He's going to get an assist. He's going to do something. And that's why, that's why he gets paid what he gets paid. And I think it's going to be fun to watch.
Well, look, I don't think you can discount the fact that a guy plays in one market his whole career. He changes teams. Everything about his life changes. His kids, where you're eating your pregame meals, your like everything. And I think these are human beings. So I think he gets a little bit more time, to adjust himself to the Nashville Predators before we, call this maybe a bad signing or something like that. And I'm not suggesting anybody is. I'm just pointing out some of the facts. But let's talk about the power play a little bit. You look at this power play unit, and I mean, you're talking about 5 NHL All-Stars, right? You're talking about 5 guys who, when we go to country play, they're all guys being talked about who are going to play or who have represented or whatever, right? There's only 1 puck, though. And this power play hasn't gotten off to maybe the start everybody thought. Is this a situation where you need to maybe split up all the talent from Unit 1, although Unit 2 barely plays? But again, like, there's only 1 puck out on the ice, and you've got 5 alpha males on your power play. What have you seen?
Yeah, it's been pretty frustrating, but honestly, I do think it's getting close. I think they're figuring some things out. Let me go back to the Stamkos thing. He spent the better part of a decade with Victor Hedman and Nikita Kucherov and Braden Point and all those guys all on the same unit for the most part over the course of many years. I mean, there was not a single puck movement that he wasn't anticipating from those guys, right? For years, he knew exactly when Hedman was going to dish in the puck. He knew exactly where Kucherov was going to be. He knew the timing of everything. It was just a matter of executing it. Now he's got Roman Josi, Philip Forsberg, Ryan O'Reilly, Marcia So, who he did play with, but that was a while ago. Just like timing is different, especially what I noticed most importantly is Roman Josi, great power play quarterback, but he does do things differently than Victor Hedman. He's a little bit more mobile, right? He moves a little bit more. He comes down, he swoops around. He goes below the circles a little bit more. He's just a more mobile guy. I think
he's a little erratic compared to Hedman.
Exactly, right. Not as steady, maybe not as predictable as well. And so that takes time. So I think that's a big part of it. And like you said, the second power play unit has actually scored a couple goals already. I mean, they've been that second unit with Brady Shea and Tommy Novak. I mean, like they've actually done some pretty good work. But you're not going to not put out the top unit for a long period of time. I think it's coming. They've figured out a little bit more of their entries. Their entries have looked better. That was an issue early, as they couldn't enter the zone. Jonathan Marchessault has helped with that a lot. He's a much better power play entry guy. So I don't know. I think it's gonna end up being better than it was last year, but I don't think it's gonna be some top 3, top 5 unit this year. It's gonna struggle. It's gonna take a while. It'll be top 10, but I don't think it's gonna be like, up there with Colorado and Edmonton in terms of efficiency.
So Alex, give me a vibe check as we close this out. I mean, this is a team that had massive expectations this year, spent a ton of money. They've kind of settled things down maybe the last week or 10 days and played a little bit better, and they've gotten stops from Saros, etc. Is this team feeling the heat at this juncture of the season? They're already 10 points back of the Jets, 8 points back of the Stars.
Well, if they hadn't gotten on a little 3-game win streak, they would be feeling the heat for sure. That win against Boston last Tuesday was a big help. I mean, they not only did they beat Boston, they destroyed them. I mean, it was no contest. I mean, they were the better team on the ice. 4-0 shutout. UC Saros gets his first win and a 33 save shutout, I think. Saros has been a big part of why we've won a couple of these games. And then on Saturday, they beat Columbus in overtime. They didn't play great throughout. They were on the second game of a back-to-back, so that could be part of it. But Marchessault goes out and gets his first kind of big moment for the Predators. I do think that they've figured out some things at the 5-on-5 level. They still need something in the top 6 that's not there. They don't have that second line centerman that's like going to distribute and create space for Stamkos and Marchessault and whoever else. So until they get that, until they find who that is, whether it's Novak or Sissons or someone else, they're going to struggle to be that sort of like constant top 6 threat that we kind of thought they would be going into the season.
Yeah, it's been fascinating to watch it all unfold so far. Fits and starts for the Nashville Predators. Alex Daugherty, thanks so much for joining us today from the Tennessean. Looking forward to your coverage all season long.
Of course. Thanks for having me.
What's up, hockey fans? If you enjoyed that video, then you need to be hitting the subscribe button right here at Daily Faceoff. Exclusive interviews and analysis from our hockey insider Frank Saravalli, fantasy updates from Brock Sagan, and a daily live show at noon Eastern Monday through Friday. You don't want to miss any of the fantastic content, so hit that subscribe button.